Today is April 2nd, 2019. We want to thank you guys for being here today. It's our first budget meeting. Wow, it's our first meeting. Uh, we've been doing so many budget meetings. I'm sorry. A lot of them. It's our first meeting of April 2019, and I want to thank you guys for being here. Our thought for today is gratitude is the heart of memory. That's a French proverb. I want to go ahead and officially call this meeting to order tonight. Um, our guest pastor tonight is Pastor Gil Gaynor of the Lord Love Joy United Methodist Church. I think about all of us know him. Pastor has he does so much great work in our community, sir. We are so glad and thankful to have you here tonight. If you would tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your church, and please pray for our community.
Sure, sure. Is this where it should be?
Yes, sir.
Gil Gaynor, lifelong resident here in Newton County. My last day of practicing law after 38 years was last week.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, thank you. I am a local pastor serving under the Commission of the United Methodist Church and became the pastor at Lovejoy United Methodist Church down on Highway 36, July the 1st. And wonderful, wonderful people down there, very sweet group of people. And my wife and I feel very blessed to be leading that church. So,
Thank you, sir.
okay. All right, well, let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, we give thanks to you for this opportunity to gather this evening. We ask, Lord, a blessing upon each of these commissioners and its chair. Lord, we ask that you fill them with wisdom, with patience, with strength, and with peace. Lord, we have so many blessings to give thanks for. The opportunity for us to gather as we have as a community, all of us gathered here this evening, to participate in and share in the decision-making concerning our community and its direction. Lord, we ask that in the deliberations that our commissioners make, oftentimes faced with very difficult decisions, Lord, that they will listen to one another, that they will be considerate of one another, that they be respectful of one another, and at the end of the day, Lord, that they find the common ground to do the common good for the people of this great place we call home. In Christ's holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pastor, we want to take an opportunity to say thank you for what you do in our community. Thank you for your service. Also, we thank you for, I know you was on the CID board for a while. Just thank you for the contribution that you make in our community. And I have a token here of appreciation that says thank
Oh.
you.
Well, thank you.
Guys, also, as our fire chief comes and lead us in the pledge tonight, I just want to make everyone aware, there was a 19-year-old young lady who graduated from Newton County High School that was on her way home from spring break. Fire chief, you can come on, sir. That was on her way home from spring break down in I think Peach County. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I know she turned on to Highway 49 down there and ran into a tractor trailer loaded with fertilizer. And her and the passenger was killed, and the young lady driving the tractor trailer was killed also. And she graduated from Newton County High School, so we want to keep that family in our prayers as well. Sir, if you would lead us tonight in our pledge.
I've asked everybody to rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next, is the adoption of the agenda. Commissioners, you had an opportunity to look at the agenda tonight. I seek a motion. If there are no changes, I seek a motion that we approve. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Schultz. Any discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, is citizens' comments. This is an opportunity we allow citizens to come up and speak about agenda topics only. You have 3 minutes to do so. If you would come at this time, please state your name, your address for the record, please. Agenda topic only. You have 3 minutes to do so. Thank you. Next, we have it's the chairman's report. I think we have some guests with us tonight. Some of the leadership Newton is here tonight. Guys, if you're here, would you wave your hand? Thank you for participating in Leadership Newton. I'm sure you learned a lot about our wonderful community, our wonderful county, and thank you for your commitment to this community. Next tonight, we're going to be recognizing some guys, some firefighters. Is Chief Cripps here tonight? Chief Cripps. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, listen, there was a structure fire in Porterdale, and there was some special guys that showed up on the scene from Newton County Fire. Chief Cripps was supposed to be here tonight, and he wanted to recognize you guys. But if you here tonight and you was there and you was, if that was you and that was you that tackled that fire like that, if you would please stand and be recognized. Guys, thank you. I was told that there was about 9 people in that family that lost their home, and that had to be placed somewhere. And guys, I heard that you comfort them to the best of your abilities. And guys, we thank you for what you do in our community. Thank you for protecting our community and making our community safe. So we want to thank you for what you do tonight. Now, at this time, we want to bring up the fire chief. He has some special awards tonight that he want to present. Yep. We're going to ask our county manager who helped lead that team, please stand up there with him, because y'all doing a great job, and we want y'all to be recognized. You want to stand up there with him, please? Y'all doing a great job, so we want y'all to be recognized.
Chairman, Commissioners, I want to first start off thanking you because, matter of fact, this fire, Chief Cripps did call me, and I know he reached out to the chairman, and I think he also reached out to the county manager. I think the kudos these men behind me got from the city of Porterdale was really on your behalf, because you, as a board, since I've been here, have reopened positions that were closed. When I came to work here, April of 2017, there were 43 suppression members in the fire department. Through your stewardship and allowing us to reopen some approved positions that have been sitting vacant for a long time. We're back up to 66. Right now, we do have 66 positions in our department. We're actually going to start testing Monday for 33 additional positions that this board has approved last December that we could not fill until the fourth quarter. So we are moving forward with that. And again, that will up our numbers so that when incidents like this happens, there are personnel there to do all the functions. I talked to Chief Massey, who's a battalion chief on C shift today that worked this fire. And when I gave him the heads up about the kudos that his shift received, he told me, he said, Chief, this is the first time I've been able to work a fire in years where everything went textbook, and it's because of your vision of filling those vacant positions. So I, as a department head, want to thank this board for your foresight and trying to bring our department back where it needs to be. Also, we're fixing to recognize 4 young men that are also filling vacant positions that's been on the books. And again, working with the county manager, we've been able to get these positions filled with no additional cost to our budget because they were approved positions. But we've got 4 gentlemen that just got promoted 2 weeks ago to lieutenant. One of them is not going to be able to be here tonight because of he's on vacation out in Big Sky, Montana. But I would like to bring up our newly appointed lieutenants. And if I call your name, if you and your spouse want to come on up, and then I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Stapp and Training Chief Brad Redmond to come up and help to actually do the pinnings and actually give them their fire helmets, showing their new rank. But it's going to be Lieutenant Mark Pitts, Lieutenant Richard Aaron, and Lieutenant Justin Holmes. Lieutenant Stephen Frazier, again, I hate to say he's not able to be here tonight, mainly because of prior arrangements on a vacation. Gentlemen, it's my honor to congratulate y'all once again on your achievement of achieving the rank of lieutenant within our department. Chief Stapp is going to give your significant other your badge so that we can do the official pinning. All right, ladies, if y'all want. And fellas, if y'all stand there, Chief Redmond, Chief Stapp, and maybe our county manager, if he wants to give you guys your new helmets, so that when I show up, I can see who I need to talk to, because I look for the red and white helmets. So, Chief Redmond.
They are very nice.
So with that being said, I just want to again thank the board and this commission for allowing us to get back to where our numbers were years ago and moving us forward in the future, because the 33 positions we tested for Monday, hopefully we'll fill all 33.
Thank you, sir. We would like to take a picture with you guys because this board do support you 100%. So we would like to take a picture with you guys. Thank you, guys. Again, guys, thank you so much for all that you do. Mr. Kerr, please. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a few pictures, but before we go there, I wanted to mention a few things to you. I'm proud to announce that during March, the Newton County Animal Control and the Newton County Animal Shelter reached the lowest euthanasia rate that we've ever had recorded was 36%. So we're real proud of that. We also wanted to mention that we did have we filled one of our code enforcement officer. We have a new one who just started this week. We have one more position that we are interviewing for. And so that should be filled soon. Also, the Magnet Public Portal, I got kind of a sneak peek at that. And I think once we do go live with that, you're going to see that it'll be quite a tool that you'll be able to use. So we're working on that. We are in the process also 911. You heard some discussion about that earlier. The governor's board will be meeting on Friday, and we're going to start the process to recruit for a 911 director for that. Also, during this past week, we conducted, our IT department conducted some security training. They actually put out email phishing, did an email phishing exercise. There were a number of fake emails that were sent out, and were tested to see how many people actually responded or opened the email from an unknown source. And we didn't exactly pass with flying colors, but we did actually pretty good. And we are scheduling now more internet security training for everyone to help to better identify those problem emails so that we don't have an issue where we wind up with a virus or some way that someone gets into our system. The Newton County Rec Department Easter egg hunt will be April the 13th. That's next 2 weeks from today, a week from Saturday rather. So I'll make sure everybody's aware of that. Also, paving season has begun. We were just out today for some of the pictures you'll see. We are in the process of approving a lease on a very expensive milling machine because our milling machine is out of action. But hopefully this new one will be able to help us move along. And we are trying to target, upwards of 20 miles of road this year. So, and take a look at these pictures for a minute. If you'll see, these were members of the Newton County Detention Facility Workforce Development Program. The gentleman to the left there with the vests on and the bright yellow shirts. Those gentlemen's names are Nikivius Frazier, Demarius Banks, and Andre Dervey. And the gentleman in the orange T-shirt there is William Cannell, and he is the one of the graduates from the second class from the Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Program that's operated by the jail. And these are all individuals that we have been able to help find employment with the county through our temporary service, and hopefully that we'll be able to work them into a regular position with the county. We've had good reports about all of their work and their willingness to do whatever's asked of them. So we hope that this will be successful. We've also have the adult felony drug court that we've also extended this program to, and so we may have some people who are in need of a job when they graduate from that program, and hopefully they'll help us to fill some of the temporary positions that we have. So just wanted to show you those. And that concludes my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to say, I want to make sure I say it in the public meeting, and I said it today. This budget season has went really well. We've been doing our budgets, and our county manager has provided us with a balanced budget. I think he did a great job, him and his team, our finance director. So guys, I want to just send a shout out to y'all. I think y'all did a great job on that, putting that budget together, and we greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd also like to just take a second to say that all of the department heads and the individuals who, elected officials, constitutional officers, everyone did a very good job of containing costs. And I think that's hats off to them too, because they recognize their responsibility to try to keep costs down as much as possible and to try to give the citizens the best amount of service and the best value for their tax dollars. So, and truly, I am very fortunate to work with a very, very professional group of people who think a lot of their jobs and take it very seriously, the directive to be good stewards of the people's money.
Thank you, sir. And I don't want to leave out the Fosters also, who helped with our strategic plan, is helping with implementing this. So it's a good time, I feel like, to be in Newton County. And guys, I just want to say thank you. Next, I was trying to get as close as I could to 7:30. I think we were real close. So Ms. Judy, if you would come at this time, it's time that we move over into our public hearing.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening. The first item before you this evening is old business that was tabled from 2 weeks ago. And the request for us was to go back out and look at how the protected covenants would affect the request before you. So the case number is REZ 19-000001. The property is located at 188 Dixie Road, and its current future land use map is rural residential, which does support the request for a rezoning petition to the AR. The actual request before you this evening, the property is currently zoned A, and the request is to amend this to allow the zoning to be AR agricultural residential. This is in District 1, and the map parcel number is 113-205. So the staff did go back and we did review the protected covenants as well as the history of the lot and its how it became to be. So quickly, I will go over how the process worked for the current zoning on this property. As many of you know, in July of 1971, the Board of Commissioners adopted its very first zoning ordinance. And in that zoning ordinance, it identified A as general agricultural district and required only a lot size between 15,000 square feet and 43,560 square feet. And if you don't know, that's 1 acre exactly. And then the ordinance was amended in 1981, and it kind of reduced the maximum lot size or the square footage to 40,000 square feet. So it went down a little bit. In 1985, the same district identified as agricultural required 2 acres of a lot size. The applicant, Mr. Robert Jones, provided the Melody Farm Protected Covenants, which were filed with the Clerk of Courts on January 8, 1986, which further restricted the subdividing of any lot under the protected covenants to a lot size of no less than 5 acres, which exceeded the minimum requirement by the zoning ordinance in effect at that time, which was 2 acres. 10 years later, on October 25th, 1996, upon the settling of an estate of Mr. Charles H. Johnson, who owned the subject property, the 13.23 acres, which is under request tonight, was divided into two lots of record. One lot was a 7.29 acre tract and which left one lot the remaining balance of the 5.94 acres. These two lots were purchased by the current owner, Mr. Victor Harville, and was filed with the clerk of courts and subject to the protected covenants. The zoning ordinance was amended again in 1999, and when it was amended at that time, it was then that we raised the agricultural district to a 10-acre lot minimum. So the conclusion is, based upon the research into the lot dimension requirements at the time these lots were created, the property at 188 Dixie Road has two legal non-conforming lots of record lawfully created in 1996 and therefore does not need any zoning change. However, in order to keep in line with the current ordinance regulations and not continue as just a legal non-conforming status, staff does recommend the approval of REZ 19-000001 from A agricultural to AR agricultural residential. There was one further question the Board of Commissioners asked, and that was about the property that was north of this site, which was a total of 3 tracts and 78.22 acres. And that property is zoned legally A agricultural. It was, a new plat was filed in November 15th, 2011, which made all those lots have to agree to the 10-acre minimum. So with 78.22 acres, the maximum lots that could be divided would be a total of 7 lots under the current zoning district. So in conclusion, given the fact that the property is in close proximity of similar existing zonings as AR, along with the applicant's proposed use of the land, staff is of the opinion that the rezoning may be appropriate for the site. However, we do recommend certain conditions. If this petition is approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved AR agricultural residential, conditional subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following. A minor plat of the newly created parcels must be recorded and provided to Development Services. B, the 2 new parcels of 7.29 acres and 5.94 acres may not be subdivided into any parcel less than 5 acres. And C, any required permits must be obtained from the Department of Development Services before any construction or development on the property. With that being said, Chairman, I would like to remind the board as just a point of order, the public hearing was held at the previous meeting. While you can open the public hearing back up, it is not necessary to open it back up. I was simply required to come back and report to this board.
Is the applicant here?
Yes, sir, he is.
Would you like to say something, sir? Okay. Well, we're gonna allow 10 minutes for, this is a portion of our public hearing that we open it up for comments for the applicant and those that want to speak in favor of this. You have an opportunity to do so now. If you would, please, sir, state your name, your address for the record, please.
Okay. Robert E. Jones. I'm a resident of Covington Place in Covington. My wife and I purchased the property from Mr. Harville, and we plan to make that our home. I thank Miss Judy and her staff for the research they've done on this, along with Commissioner Edwards. I think bringing this to our attention, I think clears this up as far as the people who had reservation earlier about this. Our plans are to be good neighbors to our neighbors out there, and we look forward to being there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone else want to speak in favor? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. Now we want to also allow those that want to speak opposing this. You also have 10 minutes to do so. Please come at this time. State your name, your address for the record, please. You may come now. Those that anyone want to oppose of this, you may come at this time. That portion of our public hearing is closed. Commissioner Edwards, I seek a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion that this board approve rezoning case number REZ 19000001 with stated and recommended conditions.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Judy. Next. Yes, ma'am.
We have one other zoning petition before you this evening. I would like to point out the slide in front of you right now. Our county manager mentioned this in his county manager report. This will be, fingers crossed, because it's a work in progress, but this is going to be part of our commitment to our citizens and using technology to be able to promote transparency. This is our new website for the building permits. You will be able to access this through the Board of Commissioners website. The first module that will go live will be the building. We hope to have that up and going by this upcoming Monday. We will make sure that we make an announcement so the website is available, but we do hope to have all of our code enforcement cases, business license, building permits, land disturbance. We hope to have it where people can go on at their leisure 24/7 and look and order inspections or see what they may need. Also, I do want to, one other point of information that I need to provide to you this evening. Staff did run an ad in this past Sunday's Legal Oregon to announce that we would be presenting the FY18 short-term work program and CIE report. Due to some budget hearings last week, we were not able to get all of the information together. We will re-advertise and we will bring that before y'all on April 16th. This is also part of keeping our local government status, our qualifications. So we will need to get this report in front of you so we can submit it up to DCA and bring it back before the end of June 2019. So we do have a plan for that. But if anyone was here that had saw the ad, I just wanted to note that it will be on the April 16th meeting. So moving along to the final case this evening, this is a modification. And for the members of the board that aren't familiar with all types of zoning cases, a modification means that there was a petition that happened in the past, a rezoning or a conditional use that placed certain conditions on that petition. And if someone is seeking relief to those conditions, this must come before this board only. So you are the only board that will be considering the modification. The current modification we have is case number MOD 19-000001. This property is located in Orchard Park subdivision at the intersection of Hurd Lane and Pratt Drive, and this is Phase 3. The property map and parcel is 7915. Its current future land use on the property is residential. The current zoning is Accord. It is approximately 17.56 acres and it's located in District 4. The petitioner is the Orchard Group of Georgia LLC and the representative is Mr. Stan Cameroon and he is here this evening. The request before you is to amend the site plan placed as a condition of zoning and allow the reduction of the total number of lots in Phase 3 from 52 lots down to 25 lots. This is the area identified in purple is the entire subdivision that's cord zoning. So you can see that some of the lots in phases 1 and 2 are hatched out. Most of them are built or under construction now. The parcel highlighted in blue is Phase 3. And the original request or the original condition on the property, in the motion made by the board, it required that should the property be sold, it must continue to adhere to the approved drawing that was shown that evening to the board. And in Phase 3, there were a total of 52 lots. And that is the old preliminary plat, so you can kind of see how the 52 lots would kind of swoop around the lake that's there on the property. The applicant is proposing to reduce that total number of lots from 52 down to 25 lots. Part of the reasoning behind that is in order to have the other subdivision built out, there would be 2 stream crossings in order to get the total number of lots there. So the conclusion would be, oh, I'm so sorry, here's the new lot configuration. So you can see that it's going to preserve a good bit of the acreage, and it again is reducing the lots from 52 to 25. So in conclusion, giving the density of the existing subdivision and the requirement of 2 stream crossings to develop Phase 3 as originally designed with 52 lots, it is staff's opinion the reduction of 1/2 the lots to 25 without crossing any stream is a benefit to the community and to the county. Therefore, the request for modification may be appropriate. Staff does recommend that should this board approve this petition, we would like to have the following conditions placed on it. Should the Board of Commissioners approve this modification, staff recommends the conditions to be amended as follows. 1, the total number of lots in Phase 3 of Orchard Park subdivision shall be no more than 25 lots. And 2, all original conditions of zoning are applicable to Phase 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a portion of our public hearing that we open up for the applicant and those that want to speak in favor. If you would, you have 10 minutes to do so. Please come at this time and state your name, your address for the record, please. The applicant and those that want to speak in favor.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners.
Good evening.
My name is Stan Cameron. I'm the manager of the ownership group of Orchard Park. Ms. Johnson has done a great job of explaining our purpose here tonight, which is simply to have the preliminary plat approved. It's not often that we come before a board asking for a reduction in the number of lots, but that's what we're doing this evening. And the reason being, exactly as Ms. Johnson said, honestly, it's a challenging tract of land environmentally. I think it would be tough to develop with the 52 lots that the original developer envisioned. And so we're asking your permission this evening just to approve the plat and reduce the lots from 52 to 25. The conditions Ms. Johnson mentioned, we fully approve of and support.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else want to speak in favor tonight? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also, I'm sorry? Come on up, sir. I'm sorry? You want to speak in favor? Come on up, state your name, your address for the record, please. I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't see your hand, but this for those that want to speak in favor.
I just have a question. I'm Don Kemp, 135 Ryan Lane, which is in Phase 2 of the
Can you
Orchard
speak in the
Park.
mic for us, please? Thank you, sir.
Okay, sorry. The only question I have is the size of the lots. Going from 52 to 25, is the lot still the same size?
I doubt it. That'd be bigger lots, I'm sure. Sir, can you come back up, please? Hey, sir, can you give us your name again, please?
Stan Cameron.
Sir, can you give us your name again, please, for the record?
Don Kemp, K-E-M-P.
Thank you.
Actually, that's a great question, and I should have covered that while I was up here. We are reducing the lots from 52 to 25. The lot size is not reduced at all. Matter of fact, the original conditions call for a minimum of 6,200 square feet. I think our smallest is 6,600, and so it's not any reduction of the lot size.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
And one other question? Sure. The only egress and exit from Phase 3 will be that one road?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor? If you would, please come up and state your name and your address for the record, please. Those that want to speak in favor.
Sharon Sullivan. I'm on the HOA board at Orchard Park. I'm the secretary. The only thing we were only concerned about is that this building is going to be in the same design as in phase 2 or phase 1. That was the only thing I had.
Sir? Yeah.
I'll just keep my place up.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
And I'm sorry, if you could repeat the question, I couldn't hear.
I'm on the board, HOA board, and we don't know if the plots, the phase 3 is going to be in the same building design as phase 2 or phase 1.
Well, the overall zoning conditions that were approved at the time that the overall development was approved are still in place, and I think Ms. Johnson said that's one of the conditions that she's asking y'all to endorse, and we're fine with that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, ma'am.
All right.
1 second, sir. Anyone else want to speak in favor? Thank you, sir. We greatly appreciate it. We also, that portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allowed 10 minutes for those that want to speak opposing this. You also have 10 minutes. You may come at this time. Please state your name, your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose this tonight? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. Commissioner Henderson, I seek a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, first of all, I just want to say that, I've been over to Orchard Park several times, especially during campaigning time, and we knocked on some doors, and this is a very beautiful subdivision. I mean, yes, indeed. And I think on the backside, there's a very beautiful lake that I found myself when I was campaigning, just standing there looking at the water. But I said all of that just to say this. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for MOD 1900001 to reduce the lot size from 52 to 25 with staff recommendations.
Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Schultz. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next, we move down to our consent agenda. Item number 9. Commissioners, I seek a motion of approval, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Next is our finance. Ms. Nicole, if you would, please come.
Good evening. Presented tonight are the February financials. Page 1 of your booklets is the general fund revenue summary. We are currently 8 months in, so we should be around 67%. Our revenue is currently at 87%. We're about 97% collection on taxes, so we're doing very well on that front. The middle of the page, you have a graph. It just shows our general fund revenue monthly. As you can see, October, November, and January obviously correspond to the due dates of our property taxes. The bottom of the page, you have budget to actual. Overall, we are 87% of budget for the year. In your booklets, you can skip over to page 6, summary of the general fund expenditures. As I stated, we should be around 67%, and we're currently at 59%. All of the major categories there are trending right at or below budget, other than debt service, and that is simply due to timing of when the debt service payments are due. In the middle of the page is another graph. Our monthly expenditures range from about, $4 to $5 million per month. November, we had a large debt payment and 3 pay periods is why it's a little higher in that month. At the bottom of the page, you'll see overall we are at 59% budget to actual. You can skip to the next few pages are your detail. On page 12 is your general fund expenditures by department. As I stated, we should be around 67%. There are no major overages other than in government buildings. That has to do with the large credit we budgeted for ABM for the guaranteed savings. And that is something, as I mentioned, we'll just have to wait and see as we move through the year until we get the report from them. As I stated, I expect that in June. Any questions so far? So overall, on page 13, we have total revenue of $56 million and total expenditures of $38 million. Page 14 is a graph of our fund balance. And as you'll see, the blue line will trend upward as we close out through the end of the year. But we are still doing very well for the year. Page 15 is our enterprise funds. Water fund currently is at 66% on revenue and 51% on expenses. Solid waste is at 69% of revenue and 59% on expenses. And the Gaithers and Factory Shoals Fund is at 51% of revenue and 45% on expenses. There are no major concerns in any of those funds currently. At the bottom of the page, you just have a few graphs of our revenue compared to expenditures and the budget. The 2005 SPLOST is on page 32 of your booklets. This SPLOST, we have closed our projects and we are currently just expending the excess collections on the administration building debt. The next page is the 2011 SPLOST. We are finishing up some of the major projects in this fund. The historic jail as well as the fire station will be underway shortly. Next page is the 2017 SPLOST. We are currently at collections of a little over $19 million. Life to date expended is about 6.7. Most of that is at the bottom are the city payments that go directly to them. Any questions on any of the SPLOST funds? Next page is the impact fee fund. We are currently impact fee collected for the year at $688,000. We are currently in the process of part of the CIE to update will also be looking at impact fee projects that we will start. The last page is your debt service summary, and there are no changes there. We have just finished paying off the fire truck master lease. So that was currently paid off in March. Any questions?
Thank you, Nicole. Commissioners, do you have any questions about the financials tonight? Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Great job. Next is item number 11, the Recreation Department. I'm sorry? You got it? Okay. Ms. Martin, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those of you who have been coming to board meetings for quite some time, you will remember the splash pad that came before us originally out of a young man's very, very great plan. So let's talk specifically about what's before you tonight. Back in November 2018, the BOC approved a resolution stating its preference that certain SPLOST 2017 funds in the District 2 improvements category be spent on Denny Dobbs Park upgrades to include a splash pad. This agenda item is the construction agreement with a company that will build the splash pad. It is based on the county's standard construction services agreement, and I have reviewed and I give legal approval on this end of things. The Recreation Department was in charge with selecting the specific items to be included in the splash pad.
Thank you. I just want to quickly say, I remember when young Harrison came in my office and sat down and said, I got a project I believe I can make come to pass. And I mean, he was bright-eyed and he was excited about it. And he's here with us tonight. Mr. Harrison, if you would wave your hand. Yep. So we're glad to see this come to fruition. So, Commissioner Mason, if you would, please, I seek a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm excited about this project.
Yeah, I am
May
too.
I add? I'd like to seek a motion that we approve the Splash Project for Recreation Commission, the splash pad for Denny Dobbs Park in District 2.
I can work that out. I got a motion by Commissioner Mason, and I got a second by Commissioner Schultz, and a second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion, guys? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make a comment. You know, I can remember when the Board of Commissioners purchased that particular piece of property, and that it was purchased from impact fee funding. And I can remember how we were very excited to have been able to purchase property over on that side of town, because most time they would say we got everything over towards town, and we were very excited about that. But moreover, what we were more excited about was that we had the opportunity, or rather I had the opportunity to name the park. And we named the park Denny Dobbs Park after a good friend of our family. And I say that because my aunt used to work for Mr. and Mrs. Harold Dobbs, and they would take me over to their house, the big house. And I had the opportunity in our lifetime, Mr. Harold Dobbs and Miss Dobbs, to see them, and they were very good people. And to name that park after Denny, we thought was something very good and very good. And so we are very excited about the peoples in District 2, as well as all the people in New County. We think there's a lot of great things to come throughout the county through our new recreation department. And I just want to say, Mr. Chairman, you did a great job. We got a great group of gentlemen and ladies over there.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion? All in favor? Pass 5-0. Thank you. Congratulations, sir. That young man is an Eagle Scout, and this is part of his project, and I think he is happy to see it come to pass. So thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is item number 12. Attorney Martin, please.
Thank you, Chairman Baines. I thought I'd probably ping pong with you on this, Lloyd, because you'll know more of the facts, and I'll go through the analysis that we put together. The county has quite a bit of unused land at the Piper Road Works Facility and believes that this site may be a good location for a cell or communications tower. The county did put out an RFP for proposals to lease a portion of the land from the county for tower use. The county received a response from Gulf South Towers, and we have negotiated an option and lease agreement that is fairly industry standard. It is much like similar leases and that we have written for other clients that have been successful. The agreement is structured in two parts. First is the option, wherein GST pays the county $1,000, and it will get a year to determine if the site is suitable for a tower. The option can be extended for another year if necessary, with payment of another $1,000. If GST likes the site, it can trigger the lease portion of the agreement, at which time it becomes a regular ground lease. The key issue for you all tonight is that the financial viability of the project, and I'll kick that over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. The intention is to build a tower on property that's in between Public Works, our Public Works Department, and the Fire Training Academy. It's property that's owned by the by the county. And the ground lease, while it's a nominal, rather nominal fee, the income that would be derived from this would mainly come from the locates on the tower. The agreement anticipates that the first locate we would receive 25% of the fees, and then any subsequent locates would provide 35% of the fees would come to the county. In addition to that, there is reserve space for county equipment in the event that we should need that tower for our emergency services or public safety. We would, of course, have to provide the equipment, but it does give us a space on that tower in order to do so. I believe Mr. Matt Huffby with GST is here tonight. Should you have any technical questions about the tower or about the use and what their expectations are.
Thank you, sir. Come on up, sir. Commissioners, any questions tonight? No question? Might be easy night for you, sir. Well, wait 1 second. Let me see. Can I get a motion? Can I seek a motion? It's in district. It's in district. Okay. Commissioner Henderson made a motion. There's a motion on the floor. Can I get a second? Hey, it's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. You had anything you want to say?
I really appreciate y'all's consideration, and we're looking forward to making this a successful project.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Wow. Next is item number 13, and I'm going to have Miss Jackie to help me with his name. Alcohol license. This is first reading. Fast Trip 10946, Highway 278E, Covington, Georgia 314. Mama Jackie, if you don't mind, help me with this name here.
Uzziah Damani.
Uzziah Damani, District 1. That's the first reading. Thank you. Next is citizens' comments. This is an opportunity. We allow citizens to come up and make comments on any topic. You may come at this time. You have 3 minutes to do so. Please state your name, your address for the record, please. Citizens' comments. You may come at this time. Please state your name, your address for the record, please. Thank you. Commissioner Mason. Commissioner comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say I believe this was a great meeting tonight. I think we've gotten some major things done, great acknowledgments, and I believe we are really pulling together our community, and so I'm excited about where we're headed and where we're going. And I want to thank this board for approving the splash pad in District 2. I think that's going to be a major, major asset to our district. A lot of the citizens in District 2 are looking forward to this, looking forward to having it. I believe it's going to bring a lot of community to the district. And so we're just excited about all of the things that we're doing just in District 2, but in all of our districts. And I'm just ecstatic about everything that's happening as a whole for our community. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when I saw the schedule for the budget hearings and I saw that there were 3 days, I thought, oh, wow, that's a big commitment.
Thank you.
But I will have to say that I was really pleasantly, I don't think the word surprised. I was very pleased with the way that those budget hearings were held. I was so impressed with the department heads and the attention to the strategic plan. Everyone, the department heads, constitutional officers. It was very clear that Nicole and Lloyd and the Fosters had done a lot of groundwork with all of them, and I was just very impressed with how this budget process went. This is my 11th budget, and this one by far has been the smoothest and the most, I'm the most optimistic by this budget process. That being said, I will be hosting a citizen budget workshop on April the 11th at 7 p.m. at the Alman Community Center. Ms. Jackie has already sent the public hearing notice. I think that the public will be really pleased with the work that we've done. Nicole and Lloyd will be there, or unless there's another hearing at the same time. So I just really am very grateful. And Mr. Chair, you have done a wonderful job of spearheading the effort as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's see here. Hey, they be wondering who I'm gonna call next. So they up here on pins and needles now. Commissioner Henderson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have three things that I just want to talk about briefly. First of all, the job fair that was held in Nelson Knight Community Center was a success. In fact, people have called me and said they had received going to interviews and had got a job, and I was just as excited as the people who received jobs, because I've learned over the years that it's one thing to take a man some fish, it's another thing to teach him how to fish. They can live a lifetime off of one job and help themselves. Secondly, it was there's no better feeling than when you can take I call it one box of food at a time to the people who may need it. Then when people call me and say, well, we're kind of in need of a little bit of help, a little bit of a hand up. And that's what we've been doing lately, is trying to help people who need a little help. And believe it, it's out there. There's a lot of people who need help. And then lastly, I just thank God for being God and being God all by himself. When time you get a little discouraged, you always can call on him and you can get that help that you need. And it seems like the whole world may be going down the drain, but if you pray and trust in him, and I promise you, it's not going down the drain. There's always hope in Jesus.
Amen. Commissioner Cowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for not calling on me first. So, the young man who's an Eagle Scout, when he came, and I know he's gone now, but I just want to say, he came to us with a really pretty high vision.
Yep, he did.
And it was when I first listened to him, I knew it was going to be a high cost, but he had a lot of passion about it and sold the board on that. And I think that just goes a long way for people to, if they have a high passion for something, to see it through. And I commend that young man for that. I agree with Commissioner Schultz on the budget hearings. I think you've done a good job handling it. Lloyd, you've done an excellent job on this. Best time we've had so far dealing with the budget. So been really good. And spent some time yesterday talking with the probate judge, and she's actually handling our county code enforcement cases. And I would suggest to people that they mind what the judge says, because she is actively enforcing what we need to do to clean up this county, and I commend her for that also. So I think all these are things that have been included in what we talked through our strategic plan, where we want to try to move the county in the right direction. It seems that Lloyd, your team is pulling together, the constitutional officers are pulling together, and the BOC is pulling together. I think that we will see Newton County move light years ahead of other counties in the next few years.
Thank you. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to piggyback off of and echo what a couple of commissioners have already stated. Our budget process By the time I leave office, Lord, I will have y'all completely trained on how to what my expectations are. Our budgets are getting more and more fiscally reserved, I should say. So, I appreciate that. I'm only kidding about my part, but, I want to say our budget culture has changed in the 3 budgets I've been involved with. The budget culture has evolved, let's just say. And that's a tribute to you and Nicole. I know she's not here. Please convey my thanks to her as well. We appreciate it. The county appreciates it, and we look forward to finishing strong with the budget. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited about the direction that the county is going in. I am excited about the One Newton that is pushing Newton County right now. I think it's a great time for the citizens of Newton County. I think it's a great time for the leadership of Newton County. And so, guys, I just encourage us to keep on growing together. We're stronger together. And I think our work session tonight, I think it was good. It was good to get the opportunity to hear what's on the mayor's minds and get you guys to hear their thoughts and things like that. So it's another opportunity for us to prove that we are One Newton. So I look forward to sitting down with them and you guys and getting a solution. I think we're out tonight at 8:12. We do not have an executive session tonight, so I'm excited about going home. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for just sticking in here with us, and I seek a motion that we're adjourned.
So moved.
Thank you.